It looks like this is going to be everyone. Anyways, for those who have registered, we will be sending you a copy of the webinar and the materials for this webinar as well. We will also be uploading a copy of this webinar in our tutorials page website. So I would like to officially welcome everyone for today's webinar, and thank you for joining. We are going to be covering how we could improve collaboration in Filecloud with using web edit through Office 365. So in today's webinar, we will be talking about how you can enable Office Online integration with Filecloud, editing Office files within Filecloud using Office Online, and co-authoring Office files in Filecloud using Office Online. To start with, how do we enable Office Online integration with Filecloud or within your Filecloud server? First, the following items has to be considered. One is that the admin user should be using the default admin account and not a promoted admin account. This ensures that the admin account has full access to all configurations. Next is that the Filecloud server, if you are using Filecloud or if you are using Office Online server or on-premise, you need to make sure that the on-premise or the Office Online on-premise server should have access to the Filecloud server at all times, because both the servers will need to communicate. Now, once we have those considered, the admin user would just have to log in to the admin portal, navigate to settings, go to web edit, and should be able to see the WPI client settings right here. This is where the admin user would need to start populating the fields depending on their instance of Office Online. So I'll show you a demo shortly on that one. Now, once that's all taken care of on the admin side, how does users, regular users, access Filecloud or start editing files in Filecloud using Office Online? So users, when they are logged into the user portal, should be able to see the web edit button when they hover their mouse over the file that they wanted to edit, and would see a drop down. In my case, you would also see open in Google Docs because I do have this integrated as well. But you should be able to see open with Office Online, regardless if you do have the on-premise or the cloud instance of Office Online. Now, if you're doing a preview of the document, you should also be able to see a button on the top that says open, or it would usually say, if you only have Office Online integration enabled, you should see a button that would say open with Office Online. Now, let's go ahead and look into co-authoring with Filecloud through Office Online. Let me show you a demo. So basically, this is how it would look like. Hold on, give me a moment. Let me switch to another screen here. So first, I will take you through the admin portal. This is how it would look like if you are an admin and you're basically starting to configure your Filecloud server to integrate with your Office Online instance. From the WPI client, so we went into settings and we went into web edit. Under the WPI client settings, you'll be able to click on the drop-down and select the appropriate Office Online server that you currently have for your organization. If you are using the cloud instance, it should automatically populate the client zone and as well as the WPI client host URL. Once that one is done, you could also enable the WPI preview. This allows users to be able to view or do a preview of the documents from the web user portal. Once you have that one saved, users should already be able to take advantage of the feature for web editing using Office 365. You may also select the other option for Office Online Server, where you could also select which zone you would be using. Most likely it's internal HTTPS, and you would have to, the admins would have to manually populate the WPI client URL. That will be the IP address or the URL of your Office Online server. Now, I don't have this config, or I don't have my instance configured properly or connection. I don't have real-time access to my Office Online account. However, I'll show you a different instance shortly. So now, let me go ahead and how it looks like on the user side. I'm just going to log in using one of my users. In here, I do have sample documents, and I've one uploaded under this folder called Webinar Demo. In this example, we're going to use a sample Word document that I have uploaded earlier. It should be the same for other Office documents. And as I've shown you earlier from the slides, you should be able to do a web edit by hovering your mouse over the document and be able to see an option with Open with Office Online. You may also click on the document, and if preview is enabled, you should be able to preview the document. And from the upper right-hand corner, there's a drop-down that allows you to select the option for Open with Office Online. The same button should take you to the Office Online interface. If you are logging in to Office Online for the first time, you should be able to see a login screen that should prompt you to log in with your Office Online account. Once you're logged in, you should be able to open the document and start the revisions. All the changes that you're putting into the document, all them edit while you are editing the document through Office Online, will automatically get saved into Filecloud. Will get saved in the cloud. In here, I do have an example where I have another user logged in from a different browser. And I wanted to show you that you'd be able to, or the second user that I have in here should be able to edit the document while my first user is currently editing the document. So I would go ahead and hover my mouse over, click and Open with Office Online. Takes a while. What it's going to do is that it's going to launch. I already have my Office Online logged in as well to the same account. So it should load the document with the same preview as what we have in the background. While it's trying to load, let me go back to what we can do on the user side. So aside from being able to do co-authoring, the user should also be able to do a lock on the document. However, you will notice here that the user that originally was editing the document should have access to still to the document, while the other user is trying to launch the application. However, if the user does not want other users to be accessing the document while they are doing a revision, what they could do is that they could basically lock the document, or they could actually put an explicit lock on the document. So if you've already encountered this in Filecloud, document locking allows users to basically restrict other users from being able to make revisions to the file while they are making or other users from being able to add updates to the file while they're making revisions to the file itself. I'm just trying to load the other window that I have here with the user. But this, I wanted to show you that if one of my users, if the first user had originally placed an explicit lock on the document itself, and another user is trying to access the document, this is the error message that they would be getting. This tells them that another user is currently editing the file and have explicitly placed a lock on the file itself, and they are only opening the document, or they could only open the document through a read-only view. However, the first user can actually remove the lock, and I could just refresh this. And it should allow the second user to access the file that they're trying to access from Filecloud. So that auto saves right there. And the first user can still access the file where the second user is making revisions to the file after the lock has been removed. So I wanted to show you that I have two users here. I have two separate browsers. I have two separate users. And both of the users are making revisions to the file at the same time. So basically, Office Online Integrations is designed for co-authoring between users. However, it also gives the user the ability to lock a document if he or she doesn't want any other user to make revisions to the file while they're working on it. So basically, that sums up our demo or webinar for today. This is a fairly short webinar. We'll be discussing more of the collaboration tool or more of the integration for web editing in the next few in the future webinars that we will be hosting. So far, does anybody have any questions for today? If none, I'd like to thank everybody for joining. And for future reference, you may always go to www.filecloudonline or filecloud.com/filecloud tutorial videos. You may also go to our support documentations, filecloud.com/support docs. We do have getting started tutorial videos uploaded in there. You may get in touch with our support team if you need any help by sending an email to support@filecloud.com or visit our support documentations at filecloud.com/support docs. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining. You have a wonderful day and see you on our next webinar.